What is cryptocurrency?
Oh, it's digital money.
Now let's make it simple. NFTs are changing the world, and change can feel complicated and scary. But listen, you don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to learn how to code. You just need practical skills to win.
If you are here, you are in the 1% of humans that are preparing for this major cultural shift. We're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it light. We're going to make it practical. Welcome to NFTs Made Simple.
Just a reminder, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, and you should do your own research.
Hey, let's get into it.
All right, so everyone's talking about Bitcoin. Everyone's got an opinion on it. It's worth $1 million. It's worth $0. There's all these Bitcoin billionaires out there. But let's talk about what a cryptocurrency actually is. So let's define it here at Investopedia.com. And by the way, all links down below so you can cite the references. So a cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. And many cryptocurrencies are decentralized networks based on blockchain technology, which we talked about in our previous episode. So for example, a Bitcoin cryptocurrency would be on the Bitcoin blockchain. An Ethereum cryptocurrency or an Ether cryptocurrency would be on the Ethereum blockchain. So Dragon, let's break this down a little bit, because honestly, all I know are dollars and cents and trading goats. Like, what is this cryptocurrency all about?
Yeah. Once again, you know, the part about cryptocurrency that I hated was that I had to put money into it. And when I first looked at it, I'm a pretty successful guy, but when it comes to like gambling my family's money, I always think about it. So, I think what's important is to just break the word down. If I took the word crypto out of it, everybody says currency they understand. Now, currency could be dollars, could be, it could be the worth. It could be the money you have in the bank. It could be even gold, So I think everybody understands things that carry value that could be used as currency. So as soon as I put the word crypto there, that's the word, like the blockchain-like word that comes into play that people say they don't understand. Now, Mark said that this is a currency that exists digitally or virtually. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, what does it mean if I say, well, I virtually have money? So back to the first time I heard about cryptocurrency, this guy, and I won't say his last name because I don't want to give him credit so he can be like, because he's like a multimillionaire, but his name was Adam. And he's like, hey, Dragon, you should buy this Bitcoin for, like $10 a coin or something like that. And I'm like, what are you, nuts? Like, and I remember the first thing I thought about it, Mark, is that it was, and the neg on it at the time when nobody was into it was, it's fake. It doesn't even exist. What are you going to, they said you're going to buy it, but then you'll never be able to sell it. And the reason why people were saying that is because of this virtual, we had not yet embraced the digital world. Now, this is before NFTs. Now, NFTs were being talked about, but not a household name. So like everybody else, I had the herd mentality and I was hoarding my money and herding with the herd. I said, I'm not getting involved in that. It's too risky, right? But as I started to embrace this digital world, this Web3, the blockchain, and understand that more, then I started to understand this concept of, using this concept of cryptography, which is where the word crypto comes from, to take your transactions and secure them. Now, I think everybody now knows what secure means because we've been talking a lot about NFTs, living on the blockchain and securing in this hypothetical decentralized safe place. So now,
well, the reason why this is important, the cryptography is important, Dragon, I just want to interject, is because cryptocurrency and the blockchain is all decentralized. We keep saying this over and over and over again. It's decentralized and it's trustless, right? Historically, you didn't need the cryptography because the bank was the one that was verifying your transactions were occurring.
And controlling them.
Exactly. And so, having your digital cash, your digital money, your digital resource codified and cryptographied. I don't know if I'm using the right vernacular there, But that's important because you don't have a central bank to do that. Hey, what's up? Mark here. Just want to take you on a quick break with a resource I think is really going to help you. Some of the concepts that we're covering in the show sound really complicated and really technical. But listen, you don't need to code. You don't need to get a master's degree in computer science. All you need to do is have the right resources. We're going to make it simple. We're going to make it easy. I've got a link below. Go to www.nftsmadesimple.com. That's nftsmadesimple.com. You're going to get a free cheat sheet there. It's 100% free. What are you waiting for? Go get the cheat sheet. We're going to break down some of the key definitions in ways that are really practical and really simple. Go to nftsmadesimple.com right now to get your free cheat sheet. That's nftsmadesimple.com. All right, let's get back into the show. I actually want to give a quick story before you keep going on. I heard this about 4 years ago. I was like, wow, this Bitcoin seems interesting to me. Blockchain seems interesting. I'm going to start learning about it. And it's New Year's, right? So I put it out there on Facebook. It's my New Year's resolution. I got to make it public. And I can't tell you, Dragon, the number of people were like, Mark, that's dumb. Mark, what are you talking about? Or Mark, it's too late for you now. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad I started buying it and learning it then, because it's paid off 5-10x at this point. And I do think it's important to recognize, everyone, that if you're learning about NFTs, if you're learning about blockchain, if you're here with us, this is the first inning. You are very early. It's not too late. It is real. Okay. So we're just glad that you're here on the ride with us, because I'm telling you what, it's like being on a roller coaster. It's going, it's about to get fun. The fun part's about to happen. So anyway, I got off a little bit of a tangent there, but I just wanted to kind of explain that, like, the cryptocurrency, this cryptography is really important because of the decentralization and not having a central party that handles and validates your transactions.
Yeah. And, I shared a little bit about my first experience with it. What's relevant about NFTs Made Simple in our podcast, and the reason why it's important to learn about cryptocurrency, is you cannot buy an NFT. You can't invest in that world without it. So that's an important thing to understand, because I said, you know what, I'm just going to use my credit card to buy this NFT, because I felt safer, because that's my wheelhouse. Like, oh no, I would prefer to use my Amex, my Platinum, because I want to get some like travel, and then like some 15-year-old kid just laughing at me. So, that's important to understand, is cryptocurrency, wherever you're at with it, is required, because that's how you buy NFTs. So the first reason that I bought, for instance, I bought Ethereum. The only reason I bought Ethereum is because I was getting ready to buy an NFT. Now, I didn't buy it, but I was going to buy one of Gary V's, V friends. And so I just remember him saying in his Discord, and we'll talk about Discord another time, which was a new world for me. I was following the hype, right? And he says, make sure that you buy ETH. And I was like, what the hell is ETH? I just didn't tell anyone that. I would just look it up. But he was saying Ethereum. And then I said, where do I buy it? We're going to go over all that stuff. But he says, you need ETH, and you need a wallet and all this stuff he talked about to buy the NFT. So that's the only reason I learned about cryptocurrency. But what's interesting is the next thing that happened is, I don't know if it was just a timing thing, but I started noticing that the money that I invested in, which was like a couple $1,000s, was growing. And it was actually growing. And I'm not giving anybody advice, but I'm just telling you my experience. I saw it growing at a higher rate than the money that I had in the bank or in my retirement fund or any investment that I had. So that caught my attention. So that made me learn more about cryptocurrency. So what I did, we didn't have a podcast like NFTs Made Simple. I called up some of my friends that were really, really financially savvy guys. And that's when I found out that they were way ahead of the game. I called up one of my buddies because I knew he invested in the stock market and he was a pretty successful guy. He's multi-millionaire. And he's like, oh yeah, I've got my money in Cardano. I don't invest any more over here. I put all my money in Cardano and Bitcoin and ETH. And he started mentioning all these things. And I was like, whoa, slow down, man. I'm like, explain some of that to me. And then once again, he started, because he didn't understand that I didn't understand. So he started explaining all this stuff. But real basically, there's a process of taking your US money that your currency that you're comfortable with, and using it to invest and spend money to establish purchasing what we call tokens. We talked a little bit about, these tokens, these tradable assets that you have. So you'll notice that cryptocurrency, you buy it via buying tokens or shares of tokens.
Well, you can, buying some Bitcoin or buying some Ethereum is actually really simple, right? You can go to like crypto.com, you can go to Coinbase, and this is it's very, that part is very centralized.
Simple ones,
right? It's very simple. You go in there, you set up your two-factor authentication, which is basically just a complicated word for a secure login, and you can buy these assets, or you can buy this Bitcoin, this Ethereum, and so on and so forth. And you're going to buy, generally speaking, you want to buy a cryptocurrency that is going to be useful because you want to buy an NFT that is on that particular blockchain, right? Again, I know it sounds complicated. Again, we've got a link below that's got a full list of definitions. That's going to make this super, super simple for you. So click that link. But basically what you do is you go to a place like crypto.com or to Coinbase, you buy some Ethereum, okay? Then you need to set up a digital wallet, which we're going to talk about in the next episode, so don't go too far. And then once you've set up your digital wallet, once you've got your Ethereum ready, then you're good to go. You can start buying your NFTs right away. It's honestly, Dragon, it's not that complicated. I feel like oftentimes we make things so complicated, but it's really simple. It's not complicated.
Well, the reason why it got complicated for me is first I had to understand what it was. And then once I embraced the decentralized concept and the blockchain and I knew where it existed, then I understood. And then when I wanted to buy NFTs, I said, I have to have this to do that. So that's how I first engaged. And it really is simple once you go through it once. And we'll take you through the steps once. But then the next step was, because if you haven't dabbled in cryptocurrency, once you get in there, you'll see that everybody and their mother is coming up with new concepts. You'll see you have the blue chip ones, and you'll learn about that. It's pretty obvious, like the top 5, right? But then you'll see that there's all these tons and tons of coins, and some of them are gimmick coins, but that people make millions of dollars on and stuff. So I stayed away from that stuff. I stayed away from all of the things that just smelled weird. But like
Dogecoin?
Well, Dogecoin. Well, but you know what? I did buy Dogecoin because I'm a big Elon Musk fan. And to be honest with you, I made a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, well, Dogecoin, it's amazing. Dogecoin was a joke that just completely exploded, Well,
but you have to understand, I only spent $300 on that.
Oh man,
when it was,
you're making me jelly right now.
But my point is that I stayed away from that stuff. But what I was looking to do is say, where's my money better spent? Because there's one thing. It's one thing to have cryptocurrency because you want to buy NFTs, but cryptocurrency, it's important you understand, is people are also investing in cryptocurrency with the idea that as that cryptocurrency value, if you buy a coin, a cryptocurrency coin, or and it's $1 and then it goes up to $7, that's a 7x investment. So what you're seeing now is that this boom, because the more people that go to buy cryptocurrency, the value goes up. So that's the hype. Everybody's buying into this stuff. But the truth is that there are some dudes, and they call them whales, that have like so much money that all they have to do, like in the stock market, you know what it means to short a stock. Well, there's guys that can take a cryptocurrency, like they can talk to 3 guys and sell their stuff, and then it drops down, and then everybody bails because they panic, and then they buy it again. So you find out about that. So you got to be smart, and you got to speak to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, and there's multiple cryptocurrencies, just like there's multiple currencies in the world right now, whether it's pesos or dollars or euros. And generally speaking, a currency is only as valuable is what other people see it as valuable. I don't know if I explained that real well, but if other people don't see the value in it, it becomes less valuable. But at any rate, just to keep things simple, before we move on to the next episode, which is really important, which we're going to talk about digital wallets, is cryptocurrencies allow you to buy NFTs. And to give you a real world example, dollars allow you to buy a piece of art, or to buy a piece of music, or to buy a piece of real estate, or to buy concert tickets, or to buy anything. And I think that's why NFTs are so exciting to me, is because the possibilities are endless. They're absolutely endless. But crypto is the gateway. It's your entry fee to get into this new game. So very excited about that.
Yeah. One more thing I want to say on this, and you just reminded me of something. If all of this NFT stuff is exciting for you, so you're starting to just dabble in it and go learn about it, you'll see it's exploding. And there's just tons and tons of money being made and spent in that world. That's real, as Mark said.
Oh, yeah.
But if you track that and you say, okay, so this NFT thing is going to be the next big thing, but then you find out that in order to buy NFTs, you need cryptocurrency. Well, then that's what made me say, well, then I better invest in cryptocurrency, because I know everybody's going to buy cryptocurrency to exchange with NFTs. So very exciting on both ends.
Amazing. Let's get into what a digital wallet is, so you can actually be prepared to buy your first NFT. Let's move on to the next episode.